will be only one winner. One winner who will take home glory and honor. Glory and honor from a program where you can experience an ecosystem where AI expertise meets entrepreneurial spirit. And this whole program is allocated, of course, in whole of Baden-Württemberg and is executed by many renowned key players from Heidelberg, Mannheim, and Karlsruhe. And we are more than proud to have such great AI founders across the whole state in this year's Network Accelerator and AI RISE program. And you know what I love the most about AI as the core part of the business models of all of our teams? It's such a cross-section technology. Today, we will hear ideas from the field of industry tech, medicine, law, or the public sector. And why this whole thing here is possible, including the workshops, including the training sessions, but also the whole event location and the tasty wine at the bar, my colleague, Ms. Cosima Vallas from Baden-Württemberg Stiftung, will tell us. She is the responsible program manager at the foundation and will open up the evening tonight. Big applause for Cosima Vallas.
Thank you for the warm introduction. Dear teams, dear jury and coaches, dear online participants and participants here in Karlsruhe. My name is Cosima Vallas and I'm a program manager in the educational department at the Baden-Württemberg Stiftung. And on behalf of the foundation, I welcome you warmly to tonight's event, which is being organized in the framework of our program, the KI-Garage. Our main goal of this program is to close the gap between research and the implementation of products by providing specific training sessions. With this, we want to help young researchers to develop their ideas into viable business models. Another important aspect for us is the AI network here in Baden-Württemberg. We want to broaden it and also create a community where startups can learn from each other. In the AI RISE program, we could already make use of it by connecting the startups with relevant investors and customers. And after the program, all participating startups are part of this growing network. Over the course of the last 9 weeks, we have seen these 6 teams of the AI RISE program work hard and overcome challenges to grow even more. And speaking about growth, many of the startups who have participated in our previous Network Accelerator can already report great successes. For example, the team Visual Abstract, who developed visualization methods for specialist publication and automate them. They officially founded their company in March, and above all, they won the exit grant. Only a month later, they managed to get their first big paying customer, the Springer Nature Publishing House. Another startup is Fast AI Movies, who also successfully founded their company last month and attracted even 2 paying customers. Very impressive is that the founder, Florian, is only 18 years old, which makes him the youngest participant in our program so far. I also have to mention Centavo, who are pitching tonight. They were the winners of the Accelerator program in January and managed to get 3 paying customers during the course of the program. Only last week, they successfully founded their company. All these examples show how much these teams have grown, and they managed to develop their ideas into real businesses in such a short period of time. The 6 teams of the AI RISE program also worked very hard, and tonight we want to honor their efforts and endurance over the past 9 weeks. We are really proud what you already have achieved, and we really appreciate your participation in our program. Even more are we excited to see what the future holds for you. And I wish you all the best for your pitches tonight, as well as for your future journey. I am very confident that not only the state of Baden-Württemberg, but also Germany will benefit from your AI developments and startups. So that's enough from me. I wish you all an amazing night and enjoy the event. Thank you.
Okay, so maybe a few quick words, and again a warm welcome to our live stream viewers who just made it like 5 minutes ago. So welcome on this side. And I think, Cosima, as a result of this innovative path that Baden-Württemberg is pursuing, and especially the KI-Garage, we kind of can see an outcome in all of our teams who are attending today. And speaking of our startup teams, today we will see 6 magnificent teams who, of course, all have in common that AI is the core part of their technology. And the majority of them already have some kind of traction, and some of them even some first financing rounds. But this is where the common ground ends. Like I said in the beginning, we will hear today teams from the field of medicine, industry tech, or law. And every team tackles such quite differentiating challenges. And that's why we decided to build up the AI RISE program, a concept where we try to meet the needs of the team as individually as possible. And we all started off together at the University of Mannheim on the 1st of April. There, we met each other. We, as the KI-Garage, got the chance to get to know you. And I think we had a lot of fun together, but we also set up some goals to bring you on track. And after that good start, we joined our first individual one-to-one coaching sessions to the topic of operations and strategy. For example, Arndt Schweiger told us how to set up the foundation to grind on your raw B2B diamond business models. And then we jumped into a part where things get quite interesting, the topic of customers. Besides some dedicated customer pitch training, it was a task of Manuel Hartmann to talk about how to build up a sales funnel. And remember, guys, don't do free POCs, yeah? And with this kind of knowledge, we set up some candles and a table for our first speed dating formats. The teams of our AI RISE program got the chance to meet companies like Trumpf, Burkhardt, or Eismann and transfer their learnings from the coaching sessions into real customer interview formats. And with this booster at the back of the teams, it was time to reach out to venture capitalists. How to pitch compared to customers in front of VCs, this was a topic of Bianca. Keep it simple and have at least 2 or 3 different styled pitch decks up your sleeve. And with this strategy, we arranged over 52 speed dating formats with top-class VCs like Lea Partners, the HTGF, or Earlybird. And after the deep dive in the past 2 weeks, we are now here at the present, 3rd of June, final of the KI-Garage AI RISE program. And now we're going to get to the moment you all have been waiting for. We will now present 6 different AI businesses and see the startups who have worked the past month and even years on their projects. We will hear in this order today Codify, Medical Values, Byte Fabric, Istari AI, Syntavo, and Forecasty AI. Every team will have 5 minutes of pitching time and 5 additional minutes for Q&A with our jury. After these 6 pitches, the jury will decide based on the following 9 criteria about the winner of tonight: business model, problem and solution, market, technology, financials, team, traction, pitching style, and the overall impression. Like I said, by the end of the evening, we will have one winner team. First place and winner of the KI-Garage AI RISE program will gain 2,000 euros in cash. And now, let's get to the most responsible people for tonight regarding the evaluation process of the teams. Let's start off with a local hero. She did her master's at the KIT in information technology and electrical engineering. And at Trumpf, she is responsible for sustainable manufacturing and is part of the data and AI team. She's further the city lead of Women in AI and Robotics of Stuttgart. And she almost started selling AI music by herself, but as soon as she calculated the business model, it wasn't lucrative enough anymore. And now she hopes for better ideas. A big applause for Karina Miet. And our second jury member for today. He is the CEO of the KI Park in Berlin, which is an AI ecosystem with the mission of making the EU and Germany as one of the leading global innovation locations for AI. He's further the head of innovation for Impact Competence Center at the headquarters at the Fraunhofer Institutes, where he is responsible for implementing the innovation strategy for over 76 Fraunhofer Institutes. He has a quite peculiar way to start off his day. For making his coffee, he needs 3 scales, 2 stopwatches, and 1 Alexa. Please welcome today Dr. Florian Schütz. And last but not least, she is the head of startup promotion at the Wissensfabrik, which is a network of over 130 companies with the aim to promote innovations in Germany. She is the former director of Bosch Connected Industry and a member of the advisory board of Bosch Engineering. As a physicist, she is curious by nature and is always looking for new adventures in the environment. For example, like the shadows of Fuji or seeking for bears in the Carpathians. Please have a huge applause for our third jury member, Steffi Blumentritt. So, enough talking for today. We will now switch to our first startup presentation. And we will start off with a team from the construction sector and law sector. And you think this sounds boring in the first place, but you will definitely see that this is anything but boring. Please welcome, live on stage, our first team for today, Codify. Kurz warten.
Thanks a lot, Michael. Hello, everyone. It might sound boring, but it is still important. So hello, Karlsruhe. Hello, Baden-Württemberg. Hello, Karina, Florian, and Steffi. My name is Tian Yu. I'm CEO and co-founder of Codify. I have a question for you all. A court, a construction company, and an energy company. A court and a construction company and an energy company. What problem do they share? What problem do they share? This is the problem they share. And I know it creates a lot of headaches, but it should do. The problem that they share is that the people working for these organizations are dealing with loads of documents all day long. And it's not just a lot of text. There's also stuff involved like that. Risks where people say, okay, whoops, you're reliable if there is corona or maybe a war going on. And it's not just one of these things. It might be a lot of them, and they also come in different shapes and sizes. And this is where we started 2 years ago. We started and said, okay, this is a terrible situation. How can we solve it? And we thought about it, hey, how about building a digital robotic arm powered with AI that can identify and sort all these different risks and problems. And this is what we have done. We've built Codify, which is an AI analytics platform for fast and diligent decisions. It is a platform where we started, it's with law firms and legal service providers that are using Codify, but also the judiciary of 2 of the largest German states, judges and prosecutors using Codify today and every day to solve their cases, and 3 of the top 10 large construction companies are also using Codify. And talking about Codify, so how does it work? How does it look like? Let me give you a quick glimpse into our program. The foundation of Codify is a very powerful NLP pipeline and a state-of-the-art and most probably the fastest search engine that you have seen. Right here we have a set of documents, it's 7,000 documents, and I want to find something. In Codify you just start typing and suddenly the results appear. These are just 7,000 documents. Codify also works on 5 terabytes. We have a project now, we have to search through 4.2 million documents, and this is still the speed. The second thing, it doesn't stop here. In Codify, you can build review assistants on your own without coding knowledge. And with these review assistants, what you can do is you can review all these documents, hundreds of documents at the same time with 1 click of a mouse. This is what we are doing now. So we want to review this whole file of like hundreds of documents in this construction sector. We start the review assistant, bam, it's done, and we look at the results, and then people can review the results one by one. This is, remember the digital robotic arm powered with AI? This is it. If you look at the cases that we're working in, for instance, the judiciary, what we see now is before using Codify, it took 60 minutes for a judge to review a diesel lawsuit. Now it's down to 8.5 minutes, which is an increase of 700%. In the construction area, tender documents and legal risk assessment. Before, it took 7 hours for a person to review these documents. Now you can do it within 25 minutes, which is an increase of more than 1,000%. The markets that we are serving is the legal and the construction company sector, but we are going into a new sector right now, which is renewable energy, cutting down the time of approval procedures for wind turbines. Obviously, these are big markets. It's obvious, so let's not talk about it. The question is, where do we go in? Which are the niches that we specifically chose to perform? In the legal services sector is the ministries of justice. In the construction sector, it's the top 50 construction companies, and in the energy sector, it's wind turbine approval procedures. Why we do that? The reason is pretty simple. There's both like time pressure in here, in all 3 sectors where we can go in later in the Q&A. Obviously, we have competition. This is our esteemed competition. We are very eager to beat them with our proprietary Codify hybrid AI technology. As far as our business model is concerned, it's pretty simple. It's a B2B SaaS model with tech-enabled services. If we look at our traction, we started out 2 years ago with a pre-seed investment of 400K. In the first 2 years, we did some revenue, and we're really proud to announce that this year, at the beginning of this year, we broke even, and we intend to grow with a profitable margin for the coming years. Maybe this is way too German, but this is how we intend to roll. Looking on the vision, where are we heading? We started with knowledge management and search. We're going further with AI-assisted review and automation, and in the end, Codify will be an AI decision support platform. And finally, this is the wonderful team powering Codify. We speak all these languages. We come from these institutions, these professional backgrounds. And last but not least, what is your bureaucratic problem? We make it go away. Just contact us.
Okay, well done, Tianzhu. Now we will have 5 minutes for the jury to ask some questions. Please feel free to grab the mic.
Hi, my first question is there any regulation currently in place that might impede the usage of AI in the automated scanning of documents in these sectors?
Yes, of course, and we are shaping the regulation. We're in contact with the European Parliament, with the decision makers there, and we are negotiating, or not negotiating, but advising them how these regulations should be set in place in order to both allow these AI tools to be secure, but also not like stifle the market. It's the EU AI Act, which is in preparation, and we are part of the discussion. So this is something that we're very focused on. Actually, we might be the very first program that does the whole AI compliance in this area.
The incredible numbers that you show for reducing the time, is it for each project, or is it an overall structure that you...
It is. The numbers that I have shown is for these types of projects. So the first type of project was in the judiciary, where judges tried, or not tried, they do judge diesel lawsuits. This is in total how we brought down the time. And the second area is in construction, is reviewing tender documents, which are large sets of documents for legal risks, and that are the numbers there. And we have really, I mean, we are very confident that in all other areas where similar problems arise, that we can perform in this range.
I saw a presentation on your website where you state that your solution needs less training data and not such a huge upfront investment like your competitors. Why is that?
This is one of the most important things. Because, especially in the field of law, you don't have training data. So this is what we call Codify Hybrid AI, which we also trademarked in Europe. That's why it's important to have the search engine. You can start with Codify from day one and be way more efficient than before. And during this process, we gather training data while the people work. So there's a process, so we embed the people into our program. They are already faster from day one, and while they work, the system learns and improves the performance. So this is why we are much better than traditional approaches, gathering a lot of training data and so on and so on. And actually, this is the only way how it works in all these fields, because in our feeling in Germany, people don't have at least, even for these companies, people don't have the patience to put in $10 million or euros just to create training data and let's see what happens. It doesn't roll that way, I suppose, in Germany, yeah. Which is okay.
What is your unfair advantage compared to the others? Where are you much better than the rest?
It is definitely the technology, but it's also, and this is what we experienced a lot, the team that we have in place. The competition, we also compete with large companies like IBM in the justice sector. And our contacts in the justice sector said, okay, you guys, you both understand how the legal stuff works and you have a unique technology. And this is something that no one else has.
Okay, thank you very much, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Ju, for the presentation, and for the jury. Again, a big applause for Codify. And now we will switch on to our second team for today, who are addressing a topic which became quite important over especially the past 2 years, the medicine, and how especially artificial intelligence can bring diagnostics on a new level. Our next startup will tell us about. Please welcome today on stage Medical Values.
Thank you. So, hi everyone, my name is Karim Dika. I am Go-to-Market Manager at Medical Values, and we have created an AI platform for integrated diagnostics. So, yes, the medical knowledge actually doubles merely every 73 days today compared to almost 50 years in 1950. And of course, the new biomarkers, the innovative testing, and all the new research knowledge theoretically enables a really precise diagnosis. However, at the same time, the diagnostic process is quite complex and disruptive, and unfortunately, due to several factors, the already existing diagnostic knowledge can't be used to its full potential. So, what can we do? And one way to deal with all the data explosion and information explosion is to utilize AI to make sense of the medical data. And unfortunately, simply digitizing all the information does not really add any value. Instead, the data has to be analyzed and contextualized. And that's what we're doing at Medical Values. We are looking at the data and we are generating better data insights. and we are leveraging machine learning. So this is what we are doing in total. Like, we are looking at the medical data from different sources, and after standardizing and harmonizing these data sets according to international standards, it can be applied to our pre-built and medically validated diagnostic pathways in our knowledge graph. And ultimately, this can be translated into different use cases, like different R&D projects in the clinic or in the lab. And it is also the base for our clinical decision support tool. And maybe let's have a look at our medical values diagnostic intelligence. And this is basically the interface that can be used by the physician in the clinic or in the lab. And as you can see here on the main segment, it's marked in red. It's our analysis with our suspected diagnosis based on the patient relevant information, which is displayed on the lower part of the screen. So we are looking at symptoms, medical history, also at laboratory tests and results, and also on the imaging results. And this combined is the base for the suspected diagnosis. And yeah, we are also recommending the best possible diagnostic step to either confirm or to differentiate this diagnostic knowledge. And obviously, the reasonability is a big problem in AI in medicine. And that's why we are using a white box AI to avoid reservations towards AI-powered solutions. And yeah, so our system is trained with historical medical data from the different sources and is optimized in use when the doctor is using it to actually generate better insights, and we have a built-in feedback loop. So with this approach, we are creating value for different target groups. For example, we are creating value for the physician and help them making better decisions. We also help to utilize or to reallocate the information and resources. And what's most important to me, we help to make better decisions and to generate better data, patient outcomes. So yeah, luckily it's not only us who is convinced by this idea, and we are working with well-known companies. They are partnering with us. We also have some installations in clinics and laboratories. And one of our main customers is so convinced and so positive about our idea that they became one of our investors besides business angels and family offices. So yeah, we are quite successful with that. We already have some installations, we are generating insights, and we are now waiting for being approved by the MDR. So that's the biggest next milestone for us, and another funding round for this year. So all of this comes together that we can generate better data insights and achieve better diagnostics for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carmen. And Carmen told me like 10 minutes ago that it was only her second time pitching on stage. Absolutely well done, Carmen. And again, big applause for you. And now to the jury to address your questions.
Thanks for the presentation. I'm curious about how you get your training data and how you ensure that there is no false diagnoses included. I hope I pronounced it correctly.
So we are looking at medical data from the different labs and history, from the clinics, and they already have a diagnosis based on it. So we can train our system with it, and we can actually look at it and see, okay, maybe our diagnosis is even more precise, and we need less laboratory tests or whatever. But it's all medically validated. For example, we do have physicians in our team that actually build these diagnostic pathways.
And how about rare diseases? So if it's not in the data yet, how do you handle that?
Excuse me?
If it's a rare disease that is not in the data yet, how can your system cope with that?
At the moment, we are looking at guidelines to actually make the diagnosis, and if it's a really rare disease, we are actually working together with external partners who are experts in this disease, because there's always someone who's an expert and who is working on rare diseases, and then we can incorporate it in our knowledge graph.
The healthcare system is one of the most change-resistant environments you can have. So you have the regulations, you have the health insurances, you have the way the doctors work. Everything is really hard to change. Do you think, how do you think can you really change something with your solution?
So, for example, there's this called KI-ZG, it's Krankenhauszukunftsgesetz, to actually digitalize the inpatient care. And we have the feeling that digitizing everything doesn't really add any value to where we want to go. So you have to do something with the data, because the data is already existing. And we are trying to combine all of this. And yeah, that's our approach.
Can you elaborate a little bit on your competitors?
Yes, of course. And I actually do have a slide in our backup. And obviously, there are a lot of big, well-known companies like Amazon and maybe even Google and so on, who actually do have a lot of really, really good AI solutions, but they don't have the medical data. And on the other side, we have companies like Elsevier and Ovid, who actually are publishing a lot of papers on medical data, but they don't have the algorithm. So we are combining everything, and there are also other competitors that are only looking at some small disease areas, and we are trying to combine everything. So we have the data, we have the algorithms, and we are looking at the patient in whole.
Okay, thank you very much, Carmen. That's your applause. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now, our third team for today is locally anchored. They are a spin-off of the KIT and the FZI from Karlsruhe. And please welcome tonight on stage our third team for today, Byte Fabric.
Well, thank you, Mikkel. Hello, my name is Philip, and I'm one of the co-founders of Byte Fabric. And our goal is to make industrial data analytics simple and easy to use. So here you can see an image of one of our sample customers. These are the so-called hidden champions who are located all over Germany and have products that are sold into the whole world. Their production lines typically look like this. They are fully automated and controlled by little industrial computers. They produce products, as you can see, for example, on the right side, where we have a gearbox with multiple components produced for the car industry. And the goal is to have a zero-defect production. However, there are often a lot of problems within production facilities, and there can be a scrap rate up to 5%. And since a lot of parts are produced, up to 1 million parts per plant, there's a huge gap for improvement. The whole production is controlled by such a little industrial PC called a PLC. All the values or all the sensor data is within those control units, and they control the whole production line. And the cool thing is that we can use this kind of data and use it for further analytics, for example, quality prediction, optimize maintenance, or optimize the energy efficiency of a machine or a production line. The problem is that a lot of technical and deep understanding is required to do that. So first of all, the data needs to get out of the machines, therefore developers are required. Then data scientists with a good data understanding are needed that can analyze the data and train machine learning models on it. And in the end, the whole system must be brought into production by IT operators and must be maintained. The problem is that the SME companies usually don't have this kind of expertise within their company. And most of the projects are currently done by service providers, and all the small and medium-sized problems aren't solved today. And our goal is to also solve those problems and help to get this data out of the machines as well. Our competitors often also have low-code solutions like this one here. They focus often data scientists. The problem is that they often have a high complexity, and it's still hard to use. We developed a new no-code approach to automatically get data out of the machines and have a no-code industrial AI. Here you can see the 3 steps that we usually perform. First of all, we have an automated process to get insights. We have developed over 30 connectors for different machines to get the data out of the PLCs and to automatically calculate business events on them. Based on that, high-level KPIs are provided, for example, for quality managers, and they can dive directly into the machine from the KPI down to the sensor. Once problems occur, we have over 100 reusable algorithms that can be used with a fully flexible real-time engine to analyze the data, as can be seen on the right. Additionally, we use interactive machine learning models that collaborate with the users to further automatically detect such situations, and also have an explainable AI module that describes what the problem is and also gives feedback to the user, who can then collaborate with his colleagues. All of this is based on an open source project that we've developed over the last couple of years and brought to the Apache Software Foundation, which is one of the biggest open source software foundations in the world. We are also proud that we were part of the Linux magazine US. It was a cover story, and we're rated as one of the top 5 tools in IoT analytics. And the system already has over 50,000 downloads. Our business model uses the strategy that we first use the open source software to get into the companies, and then we have commercial add-ons that can be used for further automation and AI analytics. The system can be hosted on-premise or within the cloud. We founded the company last year in August, and in September we had our first paying customers. Currently, we are in the process of transforming our project-based model or project-based business into first subscription models, and the goal is to be a top-level Apache project in July. In the first 3 months, we made a revenue of 100,000 euros, and this year we planned 400,000 euros. And during the AI RISE program, we could sign 170,000 euros in projects. Here you can see our founding team. We are all former employees of the FZI Research Center here in Karlsruhe. It's Dominic, me, and Patrick, and we have worked together for the last couple of years. And our goal is to build your co-pilot for industrial analytics.
Okay, thank you very much. Now it's time for the jury to have some more questions.
Thanks for the presentation. My question is about how you want to ensure that your solution can be imitated by somebody else, because the core is now open source.
Yeah, that's a good point. So far, it's a huge strength of us because the community also helps us to develop new connectors and algorithms, but we have all the domain knowledge for our customers. So additional algorithms and also the data we get from the customers can be used to also further train the machine learning models, and that's some of our intellectual property that we built up as a company.
How long does it take to train the users?
Sorry, too?
How long does it take to train the users of the system?
Also, it depends a bit. Often in the beginning, we also have like a training program for the users. For the end users who are leveraging the data, it doesn't take them much training at all because they know their processes. They also know what the KPIs mean or all the data means. For new users who are developing such algorithms, and they are usually more technical, so like, for example, PLC programmers, and they are already used to such kind of programming, and also it's a matter of days or weeks. So usually we have kickoff workshop, and then they get the first results during the first day, and then for the more complex analytics, it takes a couple of days to train them, that they can also configure the system themselves.
can you talk a little bit more about the market you're aiming at, about the target groups?
Our goal was to start with a niche strategy. So we have partners that are like special machine builders. They operate in individual markets. And now we are expanding, first of all, also to other kind of machine factory, other domains. And we are planning to go to other markets, like, for example, the pharma industry or also medicine.
Okay, so thank you very much for the presentation, and again, big applause for Byte Fabric. So we have seen 3 teams so far, and now we're gonna get kind of hybrid because we had not a small accident with one of our participants who unfortunately cannot participate here today on site. But we tried to arrange something short-term wise. Therefore, I would kindly ask to bring on the Zoom room in the background. We will try it out because we only get, I think, two hours ago the information about Jan. Maybe a few words about the pitching team. Our next AI startup deals with the topic of web scraping. And they're especially facing the public sector. And now let's have a look if we can see Jan on screen. Ah, there he is. Short sound check, Jan. Say something, please.
Hello, hello, hello.
Ah, great.
Sorry for being online. Sorry.
Great. We can hear you, Jan. So I would say the stage is yours. Big applause for Istari AI.
So great. So thanks for having me online. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can see my screen. Can you maybe shortly give me a feedback?
Yeah, it works.
Okay.
It works.
Thanks a lot. So hi, everybody. My name is Jan Kinne. I'm one of the co-founders of Istari Artificial Intelligence. And we at Istari, we automate market research in real time. So why do we do this? We do this because traditional data providers, they cannot keep up with their manual research when analyzing multilingual and multimodal web data, such as company websites, news, or social media. This is why we at Istari, we AI automate market analysis, making outdated and static information a thing of the past. And for that, we developed Web AI. That's our artificial intelligence system, which is built on domain expert Web AI agents for automated market research. You can combine domain expert Web AI agents for customized analysis using our dashboard. So let's say you are interested in an innovative green tech company that also has AI knowledge and is located in Munich. You can find such companies using our dashboard within seconds. Each week, all of our agents read all company websites in the DACH region and report back to us what they found out about the companies. So let's say you set your filter to, okay, I only want to see the most innovative companies. The companies should also be engaged in AI and green tech. And then within a few clicks, you can select, or you can shortlist 250 out of 1.4 million companies to know exactly or to find exactly the companies you are looking for. To give you another example, so maybe you're also interested in well-connected 3D printing companies from Freiburg that also report on having delivery delays. You can also do that with our dashboard. In general, what we are able to do with our agents is to automate any kind of research a human expert could do by just looking at company websites, company social media, and reading news articles. However, our agents work around the clock and they are multilingual, meaning all of them are able to process about 100 different languages. And by that, we can deliver our customers the best up-to-date data. So we started out as a research project about 4 years ago. So David, the co-founder, the other co-founder, and myself, we are developing the technology behind Web AI for about 4 years. In 2019, we founded Istari while doing our PhDs. And after finishing our PhDs in late 2020, we found some business angels and we were able to start working full-time for the company. But even before that, we started selling or making some revenues in the area of academia. And after that, we were looking into associations and ministries and we had customers from all over the DACH region and Scandinavia. Last year, we were looking into professional services consulting. So all kinds of consultants and analysts, let's say, that do market or trend analysis or technology analysis. And we're also looking in the future into financial services because we think our data is very valuable, for example, for credit rating or alternative data for investment decisions. Because we have such interesting data, we also use it for engaging original content on social media and do inbound marketing. We're doing case studies, we have innovation workshops, we do rankings and storytelling, so data-driven storytelling with our data. We are already doing revenue. Right now, we are doing this in the form of custom projects. So we develop custom web AI agents for our customers, or we sell them data sets based on results already developed agents provide to us. However, we are looking for a scalable business model where we are now start to sell pre-compiled domain and region-specific data sets to our customers. And later this year, we will launch Data Explorer. That's the dashboard you saw before, and also an API, which will be based on a yearly subscription. So Istari is growing. We're located, or our HQ is located in the Marfinex Technology Center in Mannheim, but we also have another office at AI Campus in Berlin. We also have an Istari Research Partner Program where we collaborate with renowned scientific institutions from all over Europe to come up with new web AI agents. So we joint R&D, we validate our web AI agents because in our case, it's always about transferring expert knowledge into a computer program. This is also a long-term talent recruitment tool for us, and we have regular innovation workshops in our HQ in Mannheim. We are now looking for an investment to become the European provider for AI automated market research. So we expect to have an operative break even this year. However, we are now looking for an investment to bring us from a DACH focus to a European focus, meaning looking at more companies, about 10 million each week.
Okay,
and,
Jan, we have to interrupt you.
More data sources and have faster product launches with more marketing.
Jan?
For that, we're looking for an investment. I want to thank you very much for your.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, we will give you the last 5 seconds. That's okay. Let's start with the first jury questions.
Yeah, thanks for your presentation. I'd really like to know in what way Istari AI helped you in your own business development.
Not as much as we should do, maybe. So what we are doing right now, or let's put it like this. Last year, we spent a lot of time to develop our tech. So that was our main focus last year. We did not really start setting up a sales pipeline, for example, up to now. And most of the customers we had up to now are really coming to us just by seeing us on social media and hearing about us from other customers. So, but our next step will definitely be to use our own systems to find new customers for ourselves, definitely. So it's a good idea.
Okay, and I want to know, how did you decide on what facts you want to scrape from the websites? So, yeah.
So in general, we are scraping a lot of data. So each week, as I said, all of our agents look at all company websites currently in the DACH region and in the future in Europe. So we're talking 10, 12 million companies then. And there we have a very broad approach. We are not selecting specific content from these websites, but we are scraping all the contents we can find. Multimodal, meaning we are looking for texts, we're looking for pictures, we're looking for hyperlinks, and we're also looking at the technical framework of the websites. And then after that, we are basically letting our agents that decide what exact components on a company website can give us an information about the topic we are interested in.
Who are your competitors and how do you get ahead of the game? And why?
So here I also have to say it's mostly our tech. As I said, we're working for about 4 years now on this technology, and we spend a lot of time in European institutions, let's say, over the years, and looked into what people are using there to get information about companies, so these traditional company databases. And comparing us with the traditional company databases, we are way ahead. However, there are some companies, I mean, now you're in Karlsruhe, maybe you heard about EcoBot, which could be seen as some kind of competitor to us. However, they have a very different approach to what we do. They are also more concentrated, let's say, on sales. And other companies that may be comparable to us, they mostly concentrate on gathering data from different data sources and combining them into one searchable, like search environment, I would say. And nobody is doing exactly what we do, is like transferring expert knowledge from a person, from a renowned expert, into a machine, which then automizes the analysis that normally a high-paid like expert would do. This distinguishes us from our competition.
Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much, Jan. Huge applause for Istari. And now we will switch on to the fifth presentation for today, for a team who is quite special, to be honest, because they already have shown their pitching ability on a KI-Garage stage. They won the Network Accelerator in January of this year. And now they will perform again on the AI RISE stage. Please welcome on stage Syntavo.
Hi, my name is Sebastian, and together with my team members Alex and Benedict, we are Syntavo. We provide a software for vision-based spare part ordering. So what does that mean? What kind of problem are we solving? Let's imagine we are on a shop floor of a Chinese automotive supplier and with a malfunctioning machine because of a broken spare part. Mr. Lee, the corresponding maintenance engineer, wasn't able to identify and find the correct part ID and therefore contacts Sabine. Sabine works in the after-sales service as a service technician, and she gets dozens and dozens of those kinds of requests every day. She sends emails back and forth and answers phone calls, which is very laborsome, time-consuming, and costs a lot of money to her company. So this is why we as Syntavo tackle the problems of Sabine in a first start. So what is the solution we are going to provide? We provide a visual self-service software for maintenance. That means Mr. Lee can take, or by clicking on taking one picture, he can immediately and conveniently identify the spare part and reorder it. This means no laborsome communication anymore, and also no search for the correct part ID or number. Currently, the situation looks like on the left. It is slow, inefficient, and costly. With Syntavo, it is like on the right, digital, fast, and cost-effective. So what does that mean for the process of spare part reordering? As mentioned, no more laborsome communication is necessary anymore between the two parties, and also both don't have to find and search for the right spare parts. This results in a lot of cost saving and time saving for Sabine and her company. So what does the competition look like? We found three main competitors, namely Nyrus, Lexoro, and Partium, and three dimensions we can differentiate within: industry, business model, and setup cost. First of all, Nyrus and Lexoro have a very broad and horizontal go-to-market approach, whereas only Partium and us focus on machine engineering and also manufacturing. We provide a software-as-a-service business model, and our setup cost for our customers to set up our solution is much more cost-effective than the competitive solutions. So why is that? Because we as Syntavo use synthetic data to train our AI. As you may know, for training an object detection model, you need thousands and thousands of images, labeled images, to actually identify every single class, whereas we can use the existing CAD models of the manufacturers to generate a fully labeled training data set, which we can use to train our AI models and then identify the spare parts in the real image. This results in an automated process with no manual effort and scales from 10 parts to 100 parts to 1,000 parts, no matter how many parts that our customers want to identify. So what does the market look like? We found that there are in the US and EU, there are around 220,000 industrial machinery and equipment manufacturers, whereas we want to focus on companies with more than 500 employees and that operate in the industrial automation space, which equals in a SAM of 340 million. And then we want to approach in a first step a market share of 6.2 million by closing and getting around 100 customers. This is our team. I am Sebastian, this is Alex and Benedict, and together we have multiple years of experience in the manufacturing, data science, and AI industry. And so we have the perfect skill set to actually set up and scale this business. Nevertheless, we will first hire a backend developer to speed up the integration and the backend development for onboarding our customers. So our vision is we want to get the world-leading self-service platform for machine after-sales, because next to spare part ordering, there are a lot of other problems we can tackle. In the last 8 months, we made 7 pilot projects, launched our minimum viable product, converted our first customer to a SaaS customer, and are ready for the angel round. With the angel round, we want to scale infrastructure, hire backend development, and automate the onboarding.
Okay.
And
well done, Sebastian. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No applause. Okay, I'm still quite impressed of your progress from the last month. So I have to say, absolutely well done so far. And now let's get on to the jury.
Besides your training concept of the AI, what is your unique selling point?
Yeah. Besides using synthetic data, the unique selling point is that we use a full service solution, also with a front end, for example, that can be used by the end user in order to clearly identify the part in front of them and not only provide a list of potential results, but clearly identify the part with the user interface and also with the help of the user, which is not provided by any of the other competitors.
I know that the Trumpf has a proprietary solution that does this detection in a service app as well. And how do you want to approach, for example, Trumpf to share CAD data with you so that you might be the next competition for us?
Sorry, how do you want to approach
Okay,
Trumpf
it's
too?
a tricky question. So currently, a manufacturer has the interest to do this themselves. So for example, Trumpf has an app that does exactly this detection of parts so that you can reorder it.
Yeah.
So also other companies might have the idea to have their own after-sales app. So how do you want to get all the manufacturing companies join your ecosystem and not doing their own business?
So first of all, we have as I said, we have a very specific go-to-market strategy within one market segment of the entire machine engineering or machine builder segment and industrial component supplier segment, and we want to be the market leader in this segment and want to onboard many customers so that we have a pool of all the necessary or important parts we can identify, and then we are basically the untouchable leader in this very specific niche because our models have the most data, have all the necessary parts, and can identify all the necessary parts of the machine park of the end user, for example. And then step by step we approach second or neighboring market segments and broaden this approach. And so I'm sure we have some advantages to in-house built solution by some of our potential customers.
So just to make sure that I understood it right, if I'm a company and I'm using Syntavo and I want to buy a new machine, I have to make sure that the seller of the machine is a cooperation partner of Syntavo too, so that the data of all the parts of the machine are in your system?
Are you the operator of the machine or are you the machine OEM, the machine builder?
Not the builder, the operator.
Okay, as an operator, so our customers are the suppliers of industrial components and of the machines like Trumpf, for example. So we provide our software solution for our customers, for the machine builders, for example. They can integrate our solution, and then the end user, the operator of the Trumpf machine, if we stay at this example, can use the Trumpf app, for example, which has our service integrated in the backend. So basically, we go like the end user uses the tools of the machine OEMs, the machine suppliers, and the tools have our service integrated. Does it answer the question?
Yeah.
How many parts could be possibly on the platform or the app? Because it could be hard to have such a big net on the device, or maybe in the cloud later. But are there any limitations from the technology side?
Yeah. So our typical customers, or our first customers, are component suppliers that have above 100,000 parts in their portfolio. And they want, in the end, they want to integrate their entire portfolio. Right now, with the first subscription, they started some subset of this portfolio, but already some 1,000 parts. And this is impossible. And right now, we are working on scaling this up to like 10 times this amount. And so this is, the way we are going, we are approaching.
Okay, thank you, Sebastian. That's it. Big applause for Syntaro.
Thank you.
We also have to keep an eye on the jury questions, so no worries. But then now you will have your chance to maybe place 2 questions, because now it is time to take a look into the future. Not to see our fate, but to have a look on volatile markets and price developments. Please welcome our last and 6th team for today, Forecasty AI.
So, hi everyone, a very warm welcome to this session. My name is Rahul, CEO and founder of Forecasty.ai. As leaders and executives, you take a lot of decisions. And some of these decisions have very big impact on profit. Especially this is true for manufacturing companies, because commodity decision making is still a major challenge. Imagine for a second you are a purchasing manager and you are buying commodities worth of hundreds of millions of euros. So usually you have to decide today how the price would develop in the next 3 months. Believe it or not, this decision is made by gut feeling. Forecasty aims to provide accurate forecast that allows you to buy or sell at the right point in time, capturing up to 25% margin. Presenting to you Commodity Desk, which precisely solves these problems in the industry. Let me show you a quick demo of Commodity Desk. Now here, you can type in the commodity that you want to, and straight away you get the forecast for the next few months. And you precisely know how the commodity market is going to develop in the coming months based on the information that is available now. It goes beyond that. You can put in how much quantity you purchase, and it will give you what is the optimal time to transact and how much money you would save. The next feature is basically drivers. It makes AI explainable, meaning that how we actually make the AI the decisions. Backtesting is another feature. This provides you an indication of how our forecast has performed in the past. As you can see, it actually matches with the actuals, up to 95% accuracy, in this case, nickel. We go one step beyond. Sentiment analysis, this is our new feature, Fear Index. This tracks all the tweets and new social media items and provide with you a score of what is the current market sentiment, especially important in the current geopolitical unforeseen situation. And you can see the correlation between Fear Index and also the nickel prices and it is proven to increase the accuracy by up to 5%. And this is proprietary. Now, how does Forecast Engine works? So we have data repository with thousands of indicators. We use 29 different time series algorithms. We do backtesting using billions of simulations and generate the insights for the users. One of the examples that I want to highlight is the project with SpaceX. The aim is to reduce the stainless steel purchasing cost. We identified the drivers. We improved the accuracy by 20% and reached 98%, potential savings of multi-million dollars. And we work with leading brands in the industry. And that's not all. That's just the beginning. And we have 2 more no-code SaaS products in the pipeline. Together, we are aiming a market of 115 billion, which is basically the democratization of AI, no-code, AI-based time series market. We started in 2020 in Chemovator. In February 2022, this year February, we launched Commodity Desk. And in 3 months of launch, we were able to achieve 100K plus euro annual recurring revenue. And our plan is to raise seed extension by September this year to invest in R&D and also in sales and marketing. And none of this is possible without a stellar team, so 5+ deep tech experts, and also 3 SaaS experts. And together, we make the impossible possible because we have a great market, and we have a great team, and we can capture that market, be part of our journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rahul. Now it's time for the last questions. Steffi.
Thank you, Rahul. One question. What are your competitors?
So we have 2 serious competitors in the market. One is Chai Predict, based out of UK, and another one is Decision Next. And I have to tell you the story of Forecast.ai. So I worked with these startups before in BASF, and they were not able to build the algorithms which could actually satisfy the demand of the business. So I coded it myself because I was doing PhD at the time, and it could beat their algorithm, so BASF adopted my algorithm. So then the idea was, how do we scale up my algorithm in the terms of a product? So I already have interacted with them in the past as well. So our advantage comes from domain expertise and also marrying the data science with the core domain expertise in the commodity market, which both of them lack.
In this year, especially the market development is hard to predict because of what's happening in the world. When was the time in this year where you could really rely on your solution? Was there a time when it couldn't predict the future anymore?
It's a very good question. So coming back to our feature sphere index, it came out of this market opportunity because none of them could predict the nickel price, that black swan event that happened in London Metal Exchange. And we could also not predict, and that's how we found the way to analyze the social media. So if you look at what happened in February, there was always a talk about the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It was already building up in social media, and that's what we have actually created. So this came out of the market demand, how we can predict these geopolitical events.
So level trends and seasonal fluctuations are stuff that is easy predictable. But how do you cope with random fluctuations, and what kind of additional data do you use to predict how this randomness will evolve for certain of these topics, or like material prices, for example?
That's a very good question as well. So there are two factors that need to consider. You have a rational component in the market and irrational component as well. So rational component, we capture it by using all the indicators that I mentioned. So you always have some leading indicators which shows you whether the market is going down or going up. And then there is an irrational component, which is basically the randomness that we were talking about. And that's basically what we want to capture using fear index and text analysis from different reports and also from news articles and social media.
Thanks. You also have the demand desk. Which data do I upload there?
That's a good question as well. So we do have 3 products already. The idea is that we start with commodity desk, and we find the market feedback for demand and business desk for our official launch later. So we have demand desk, which actually allows you to upload your demand data, and then you can actually project it in the future. So this is a self-service tool that is freely available now as we speak.
Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for our last pitch.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So now let's switch on back to the moderation presentation. And wow, I have to say 6 so well-prepared pitches. And dear jury, now it will be shortly your time to decide about the winner. Patrick and Marie will take you during the break to the backstage area, and then you will have some time to get on that. And to the startup teams, everyone watching here today, I have to say in the name of the whole KI-Garage team that we are proud of every single one of you. You managed to do still this switch of still the majority of the time pitching online and getting now here on stage and firing this kind of presentations on the ground. Well done, and I would like to hear again a tremendous applause for all of our 6 startups. Cool. And before we go into the break, maybe 2 small hints from our side. 13th of July, the next event highlight on-site in Stuttgart. We will organize the event to a topic of AI and sustainability together with Women in AI and Robotics and the Baden-Württemberg Stiftung. More information about that on our website. And everybody else watching now online and either offline, if you are a corporate or a VC with AI in their portfolio, or even an AI startup who is interested in participating in our network, feel free to contact us. Participation in all of our programs is for free. Either you contact us via mail, LinkedIn, or later during the networking session. Now it's time for a break, I guess. Let me have a look. Let's say 7:50. We will be back here. That's roughly 30 minutes. The jury will have enough time to decide. Thank you very much so far, and we'll be back at 7:50. Minuten noch. So, welcome back, everybody. Welcome, dear live stream viewers. You can now change the tab into the YouTube live stream again. We are now at the end, and we will only announce now the winner of the AI RISE program. I had a moment to shortly talk with the jury, and it was a very, very tough decision, I have to say. Overall, we had a high quality in all of our pitches. But in the end, we had a team which was like, in the overall, the best performing one, especially the team and the kind of business model had the advantage compared to all of the other teams. So we have now the winner of the AI RISE program of the KI-Garage Demo Day 2022. Congratulations, and I would like to ask this team on stage. The winner of today is the team Codify. So, well done, guys.
Thank you, Michael.
This is your certificate. And again, a big applause for Codify. Well done, guys. You can have a seat, and we will talk again in the networking round. Well done. Okay, we are at the end already. I would like to take the time and just to say thank you. Thank you to the ICF Event Hall for hosting this live and hybrid event today. It was absolutely great. It worked, everything. So thank you very much to the ICF Event Hall as well, to our jury, who took a journey from Munich, from Berlin, to come here and announce the winners and decide about the winners. And of course, to all of our AI startups and the Baden-Württemberg Stiftung for making this whole thing here possible. And the last one, to our KI-Garage team for organizing it, helping us to make this event such a huge thing today. So I would like to say goodbye to our live stream viewers. Thank you very much for participating until the end, and have a great night, and I would like to see some of you at the live event in Stuttgart. Goodbye.